She found a letter from her husband confessing he was cheating on her.
I post a lot of my disaster dating stories, but probably one of the most powerful stories is the story of how I got divorced. I moved to LA when I was 25 years old, and 3 weeks after I got here, I met a man who was a television agent, and he ended up being my best friend. He was super funny. We had a lot of energy together, so we did lots of fun things. Everything was like wonderful and great. And after 3.5 years of dating, we ended up getting married.
Okay.
Married life was pretty good. Like, we were both really career centric, and so our careers were going amazing. And then we decided that we were going to have kids, and then we had 2 kids, 2 daughters. So when our daughters were 1 and 4, things started to be a little bit weird. So he suggested that we start going to couples therapy, which we did. And that's when things started to get really weird. And he was saying things like, you know, you should have more sex with me because I'm Superman in the bedroom. And I'm thinking, like, I'm looking at him like,
you wish, baby.
He also said things
you
like,
wish.
oh, you know, if we get divorced, you're going to be destitute because, like, everything that we have is mine, so you're not going to have anything. So that caused me to do a little bit of digging. So I went to our money manager because we had a lot of money at that point. And I went to our money manager and I said, can you please give me all of the withdrawals from this account for the last 2 years? And he did. So he basically sent me the withdrawals, 3 of which I recognized. And the 4th one was a check to Tiffany around Valentine's Day, you know, the jewelry.
Tiffany?
So I thought to myself, God, has he gotten me anything from Tiffany? So I checked our bank accounts, and no, he didn't. He actually got me a Burke Williams gift card, which I remember vividly because he was really pissed that I took too long when I went to go get my massage.
A woman never forgets when she gets a Tiffany.
So clearly I sent him the charge, and I was like, any idea what this is for? He replies and says, oh, we can talk about it when I get home.
Oh.
So he comes home later that night, and he's acting super weird, and he starts packing a bag, and he says, something tells me that you're not going to want to see much of me after we have our conversation. And then we both kind of go in separate rooms because I'm putting our youngest daughter, who's 1 at the time, to bed, and he's putting our oldest daughter, who's 4, to bed. So after I put our youngest daughter to bed, I decide that basically he's definitely cheating on me, and he's pretty much going to leave, and that I was kind of like, F it. So I hear his phone buzz in his jacket pocket. So I'm like, I've never checked his phone before, but there's a first for everything. So I went right to that phone. And in his pocket, I found a letter addressed to me, which I opened and read, and it basically said that he had been cheating on me, but who it was with and how long it was going on for was none of my business.
A letter written by him.
And I was like hell it's not. So I searched his phone. I couldn't find anything. I finally went to his email drafts, and I found a email that he had sent to his former assistant that basically was asking her for more time to leave me so he could be with her.
Okay, so you know who he was cheating on you with.
So I did what any scorned wife would do. I forwarded that email to myself. I decided that I needed to make sure that I had all of our financial records, and I didn't know where he kept them. And I noticed that when I went out to our filing cabinet, he actually had taken all of our financial records from the house. So I was like, PI mode. I went out to his car, and in his car I found all of our financial records, and I stashed them in the house before he came out.
Okay, you are playing the detective.
So he sits me down on the couch, and he's being all melodramatic, and he hands me this letter, which, by the way, I'd already read, and he's like, here you go. So I pretend to read the letter for the 2nd time, and then when I get to the end of the letter, I say, actually, I have something that I would like to read to you.
I can imagine you doing your surprise face. Oh my God, I can't believe it. And the Oscar goes to Carrie Pie.
And I started reading the email that I found about him talking to his former assistant about leaving me. And he says, well, it looks like somebody snooped through my phone. So when he leaves after we get in this big fight about him cheating, he goes out to his car and he realizes that I have all of his financial records. And so he is like trying to get back in the house, and I'm holding the deadbolt, and I'm like, get the hell out of here. Finally, he leaves, and I go and I check that folder. And in that folder, I found all of his passcodes. So I found every single correspondence that he had with her that was like basically plotting how he was going to get out. I knew when it started. I knew how long it went on for. I found out everything. And being cheated on for 2 years is really shitty. But really what made the whole situation worse was 5 days later, my mom died.
Oh,
suddenly.
girl.
So in the matter of a week, I not only lost my husband, I lost my mom. And I said to myself, I was like, I am not going down like this. Like,
No, girl.
Like the narrative of life after divorce was either like marry a rich guy so if you can have financial security. I already did that. That sucked. I'm not doing that again. Or be alone and like have 12 cats. And I don't even like cats, so that's not happening.
Well, but the problem is not the cat, okay? I have 2 cats and they are better than some people. But it sucks when out of nothing things like this happen.
So I decided that I was going to create a new narrative for life post-divorce, and I was going to share everything, like the good parts, the bad parts, the entire freaking journey. Because life after divorce doesn't have to be terrible. And whether or not I'm like posting things about disaster dates or about my kids or about my divorce story, you know, I know that I deserve to be happy.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that it has to be centered around some dude. I'm happy here. And I'm going to continue to be happy. And I'm going to share all of it. Because ultimately, we're not alone in this. We're never alone. We all go through the same things.
Yes, everybody deserves to be happy. I'm proud of you. I know your story is a kind of sad, but I'm proud of how you overcame it. And I'm only disagree when you talked about the cats. You should give cats a chance because they are amazing. But it's hard without him. It would be worse with him. You did the right thing, girl. And what do you think about this story? What would you do in this case? Thank you for watching. Bye bye.